Hey everybody, and welcome back to the live stream from the Sydney Summit. Hi everybody, I'm Dr. Pete, and with me I have some awesome folks. I have my colleague over here, Nikki.
Hi everyone, you know me. I'm on a box now, so I got some height. Feeling good. All good. All
Wonderful.
Good.
And I'm super pleased to have Aileen on stage with us, who's going to tell us all about what she's been doing, who she is. But she is actually a community hero, and she's wearing this cool badge.
Well, thank you very much.
Look at that beautiful medal.
Absolutely. We are a small group who are dedicated to championing all the work that Amazon's doing. And if I can just make a super quick plug.
By all means.
Community Day this year is something that's put together by the AWS Community Heroes. We would love if you will join us in Melbourne on the 30th of August. We are honored and privileged that Jeff Barr, the Chief Evangelist at AWS, will actually be our keynote speaker. I'm also on the hunt for making this the most inclusive and amazing event possible, so if you'd like to speak or present, totally hit me up. I'm really making a call for presenters. Would love to be in touch with everybody.
Does it matter where they come from? Because we've got folks from all over the world tuning in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, where is it?
So this is going to be in Melbourne, but I'm also working to see if we can have a live stream. So if you need to attend virtually, or if we want to have watch parties all throughout Australia and New Zealand,
that's awesome.
we could totally do that because part of building a community as a hero is communities should be borderless. And why not continue to reach out to folks?
They really want you to come to the US for some of these presentations.
Okay. Well, originally from New York, and I'll be at Public Sector Summit in June, so look forward to see folks soon.
Famous.
Cool, there you go.
And for those folks who don't know about Melbourne, their coffee tastes great. I'm from there. So highly recommend you come
I will come
visit.
to Melbourne just to have coffee with you, also because you're awesome, but the coffee is good.
All right, well listen, I want to share something. We've got a really exciting story that you're going to tell us, and that is all about serverless and trains and GPS and data and
It's about her company.
Well, that too.
Oh, come on. We should start with that.
Okay, let's start. So who are you? What do you do? Why are you the CEO of your own company?
Okay, I'm the chief cat herder, janitor. I like to get stuff done.
Chief cat herder. That's a new one.
Somebody's got to put everything together.
So it's chief everything officer.
Yes, you have to get it done. So everything in terms of content strategy, building out taxonomies, ontologies, working with customers. Vizalytics basically works with customers in public and private sector, and we focus on transportation, tourism, and economic development. I started the company 6 years ago.
6 years ago.
Nice.
So really
exciting. And how'd you raise your seed round?
I sold my house.
That's right, guys.
So bootstrapping. Wow.
And how?
That's real dedication right there for you.
Yes, because if no one else believes in you, you find a way and you create things. And part of what I want to talk about today is how can we find ways with serverless to create things that start to scale and that also deal with data problems that customers like in transportation are having.
Sweet. All right, over to the slides. Let's hear the backstory.
So can we get the slides up?
Perfect.
Perfect. All right, so all aboard. For those of you watching from overseas, I absolutely love this picture. This is the old train board at Central Station, letting us know when the next train starts.
That's real
And I want you to imagine that. Click, 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 right? It goes through
This is the old
showing.
style, the flipping over.
Yep.
Wow, the old.
So they preserve that board, and you think, awesome, here's all the time scales. But we look at this and we say, this is data. How can we take this data? How can we think about making this data serverless, right? So super excited about that. All right, so from a geospatial context, you basically have a lot of information that we're putting in and we're putting together to make our data lake.
So which trains are these? That's a lot of train lines.
So this is
the train? Like the whole thing?
Right, well, so this is actually the last slide in a longer presentation, so apologies on putting this together very quickly. But what we have is we have tracks, we have sensors, we have objects that are moving through those sensors, which are trains, and then we've got things like stations. So you're putting all of that data together saying, okay, I think we talked about graphs earlier, remember?
We did talk about graphs.
How do we want to think about putting all of that together in a way that we can have information? Because I want to talk to you really briefly about my customer problem. Nobody likes the trains to be late.
Not at all.
Nobody wants to be delayed. So if delays happen, maybe you have a sick passenger, maybe the vehicle needs to be replaced, et cetera. What can we do to mitigate risk? And what's the most effective way of letting folks know, here's what's happening so they can start to be actionable? So what I want to spend the next couple of minutes taking you through is how we've done this in serverless. And for folks who are looking at this.
I like the sequence diagram, by the way. These are cool.
This is so cool.
Well, thank you. And we love Amazon for these amazing icons because they're really cool, and I want like a sticker set of them to build architectures. But anyway, I want to take you through. And for folks that are watching, don't worry. I'm going to click through and sort of zoom in what the whole process is as we go by piece by piece. All right. So.
And you got zoom-ins. I love it.
We are all the way.
You were like raising the bar on like, you know,
PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah.
She did live coding. I don't know how anybody could possibly beat that, especially since you learned Python yesterday. So kudos and honors to you for like, boom, we've got to do this.
It wasn't quite
All
yesterday.
cool.
It's something I'm learning in
Two
process.
days back.
All
All
right.
good, all good. All right, so we start off with CloudWatch. And what's cool about this is CloudWatch only lets us do 1-minute events. Well, we need more than that because the GTFS data, this is where all we're getting the vehicle position data from,
Right.
that comes in like every second. So I actually need to be able to call it every 15 seconds. So thank you, step functions. You let me say, let me trigger our dear friends, the lambdas, and we're going to walk you through 3 different
Every
lambdas.
15 seconds.
Every
Okay.
15 seconds.
Nice.
Because I need to be able to capture that data.
Cool.
And folks, this is actually really interesting. You can do a lot of things when you start to say, can I capture this ephemeral data that's
Right.
kind of coming
So
through?
this is all the sensor data coming in from
Yep.
all those dots you had on the previous slide.
Ping
the
pong.
trains. I love it.
Taking it all the way through. So we're going to do a request into the API. Awesome. We're going to get our vehicle position response. Okay.
Cool.
So now what happens? Well, we've got that response back. Thank you very much. Now we serialized it, right? And we're going to go to our S3 bucket. Boom. It's all there. It's in JSON. Okay? Simple,
Perfect.
easy, just simple
Nice.
steps.
Okay.
And again, these are discrete steps. I'm not talking about a big honking system that we need to change things, monolith. I'm saying here's little, easy, simple, discrete
Well,
pieces.
this looks pretty much like green grass, like, like fresh, brand new.
Or like a step functions chart. It's just like
Well,
an
we
order
want to
of-
make
order
it
of
just
systems.
You can do this, and then if you need to build in more pieces,
You can add more
can.
pieces.
You can add more pieces. You can change them. Okay.
Simple, elegant.
So now that engineers love when things
We
are
do.
elegant and simple, right?
right.
How do we do this in a way? Because that's how you can get really robust systems.
Absolutely.
Because there's that elegance in it. Right, so data is available. Awesome. Now we take that vehicle position data. The blue line over here is the Vizalytics proprietary knowledge graph. We do a little bit of augmentation. And then we want to find out whether or not each trip is completed, right? Because on 15-second intervals, some trains are just choo-choo down
They're
the
going to
track.
be in mid
and other ones,
route.
right, but we need to know when the trips have been completed. I'll get to why that is in a sec.
How do we detect that through the data?
Trip ID. When the trip ID comes to the
Okay.
end, that's how we know.
Okay,
Got it.
So we've got that. Okay, boom. Here we are in the Vizalytics knowledge graph. We're doing our augmentation, trip ID. Okay, next step, and this is where we're going to go into SQS, that if the trip ID is this is complete, then boom, here we are with SQS, and it's going to send there's a complete trip available message, so that way we
Got it.
know to kick
Okay,
off
this
the
becomes
Is that
lambda.
immensely
going to a
scalable,
lambda?
right? Yeah.
Yep.
So then what's that lambda doing?
So that lambda is going to say, okay, now we're going to have to query the knowledge graph because we need to set up training vectors.
To basically set up the lines where the
Yeah.
path is.
Yeah.
For what the path is and what's happening, remember, in terms of time, was this on time, was this late, was this early, how is this
Super
all working?
cool.
So again, super easy.
Okay.
Okay, so we've taken you through, but I talked about training vectors. Why is that? Well, trains need to run on time, and we need to understand what happens. So we actually do ongoing training and retraining of our corpus. So really quickly, there's a time period trigger. We're doing it once every 24 hours. Again, thank you, step functions. Now we check with Lambda, is there any new data available? If there's data available,
We'll
another
pick it up.
Lambda.
Got it.
Boom, there you go. Here we are in
So
Sage.
start training again and yep.
Start training again. But remember, this is a separate process from what's happening.
It's
And that's
decoupled.
part of,
Yeah.
but decoupled is what makes serverless awesome because
Gotcha.
you're able to do that, right?
Got it.
So here we go, start training, check the process, training's complete, deploy the model, boom, there you go.
Love it.
So those
it.
are really simple, easy things that we need to do. And again, these are simple ways that, wow, serverless can make a difference.
Super cool.
So why does
right.
this matter? And then housekeeping, there's always
Yep.
housekeeping.
Cleanups.
Okay. Here's why.
The punchline.
The punchline.
Yep.
So what you're looking at is our dashboard, and this is insight
This is the
in action.
Vizalytics dashboard.
This is Vizalytics dashboard, and this is what internally folks are looking at. Help us understand for the intercity lines, what's the 24-hour on-time running schedule? It's at 89%. 32 trains have been on time. There are 55 to go. 4 have been
4
late.
late.
No were canceled. Now remember, you're looking at this as dashboard. You didn't have to do anything to figure it out. I'm just telling you this information. What's happening with regional rail? Awesome day there. 100% on time. Of course, there's 6 and 4, so it's not that many in
6 were
regional
on
rail.
time and 4 to
Left to go. Regional coach didn't do so well. 4 on time. 4 have been on time. 4 are late, and there's still 26 to go. But also, and this is what
That one's just not enough data.
not yet, not yet. But this is what's actually really interesting for our customer over here, is you get these scrolling alerts of what's happening. Is it a spot delay? Is it an increasing delay? Is it on the intercity or the regional coach? How many potential trips are impacted?
Yep.
And how many minutes, right? Because then you can start to think about, if we want to do things differently, what are we
They
doing?
want to know
Got
if
it.
your slide deck is hosted. Well, specifically Skull Crusher for Life wants to know.
Okay.
Yes, all of this will be available. And thank you so much for a wonderful short talk on
Thank you
serverless.
for coming on board.
Thank you for
We
having
love
me.
the
This was
super
so
fast trip through
cool.
serverless, and I love the slides.
Me too.
Great stuff. Guys, thank you for
Awesome.
tuning in. Thank you, Aileen, our community hero. Thank you, Nikki, for being with us. Guys, keep watching the show. There's a lot more coming our way. We're wrapping up in a few hours, but there's plenty more to come.
See you guys
Absolutely.
soon.
Cheers. Thank you.